Next up we have the cold dry ice test. So we are taking the cold to a next level. We are leaving the water behind us, but we are gonna place them overnight in a cooler with dry ice. The temperature of dry ice, it's about minus 50 Fahrenheit, even lower than that. When you use dry ice, you have to be careful that because it turns into a CO2 from a solid straight to a gas, so you have to be careful not to put it in a sealed tight container because you might have some gas accumulation in there. It's the tip of the day. So we took the optics. I didn't wipe them off or anything. I just left them with whatever residual moisture was from the ice test and put them in the cooler for the overnight sit in dry ice. Also, I put some cooking paper in between to avoid direct contact between the optics and the dry ice. Here is the next morning. They survived the night apparently, so let's see how they look as they are coming out. The micro H1 operating very good, very cold. You see the optic itself temperature, it was minus 30 more or less. Romeo 5 XDR operating very good. The EOTech turned off due to the auto off feature, and the buttons to turn it back on were frozen, so I was not able to turn it back on. The same for the UH1. The Aimpoint Pro still works on, no problem. The caps were frozen in place, however. The MRO working, no problem. The EOTech 518, the same thing. The buttons are frozen, so I couldn't turn it back on. I have to let it thaw a little bit. The Holosun HS503G was also turned off or not working immediately after. Primary arms MDMDS was on, I believe. The HS503C and the 510C, they all seem to have made it, but there is some frost on the lenses, so it's pretty hard to tell in some cases. Just know that if you have a red dot or a holographic sight that requires to activate buttons, there is a certain point when, due to the cold, these buttons may not work necessarily. So I've left them for some time, not too long, outside to thaw, and then we're gonna take a look and see how the different reticles look like. Again, in general, any water is on the lenses on the outside. I did not clean the lenses. I just activated them. I turned on the EOTechs to make sure they are still running. And so far, they seem to have survived this test.